Hi, I'm Courtney, and welcome to part 2 of making mosaics using the Pittsburgh Glass Center Mosaic Kits. So for this version, we're going to be making our mosaics with the nippers that we also purchased from the Pittsburgh Glass Center. So I got a hair tie and just wrapped it around my nippers, only because without it, they stretch out pretty far. It's a little bit easier to cut because we're just gonna slide the glass in between the blades and squeeze. So ideally our hands are really never gonna stretch out further than that. So you can just kind of do a quick fix by looping a hair tie right on the ends there. Okay, so we're gonna get started. I'm gonna show you how to use these guys and everything that we have from the kit. Oh, and we can't forget to put on our safety glasses. So safety first always when we're working with glass. When we use our nippers, shards can fly everywhere. You wanna be as safe as possible. Alrighty, let's get started. Okay, so today we're gonna be starting with our glass, pre-poured onto the plate. I got a black and white mix, a blue, and a brown. We have our glue, our backer, and our nippers. So, now sometimes when I'm mosaicing, I just want to be abstract. But before I bought my kit from the Glass Center, I actually went in with an idea. So, I've always loved Scooby-Doo, so I wanted to do a Scooby-Doo mosaic. So let's start with the nose. And again, make sure you're wearing safety glasses when you're nipping your glass. So, before you nip your glass, you always kind of want to look to see how you want to nip it. That may not even be the best piece to go right there. So let's see that. How it fit best. Okay, this looks like it would be a very nice piece, and it's going outside my line. So I'm actually going to use my Sharpie again. And I'm just going to draw a line to see how I would like to nip my glass so it fits nicely. Alright, so when you're nipping, you always want to make sure you're nipping onto something because shards of glass are going to be flying. So we have our nippers. We're going to hold it just like this in our dominant hand. You're with your hand closer to the bottom of the nippers. We're going to slide our glass right there in between the wheels. And so when we squeeze, the glass is actually going to shoot out of the back. So we're going to want to angle it so our glass is shooting downwards. Oh, you see that kind of just flew over. So sometimes what I like to use, I actually just have a Kleenex box, an empty Kleenex box that I cut. So it's like a vessel that I can nip into. And that way, I don't have to worry about my glass flying everywhere. So I want to be very careful. So the way I have to hold this in order to nip, I'm going to have to hold it by the pointy bit, but I'm doing that very lightly. I'm barely supporting it with my fingers and just squeezing to nip that glass. And again, we're following along my Sharpie point. You just kind of nip very softly so the curve is getting there. It's really hard to get an exact curve with your nippers on these smaller pieces. That's okay. So let's go ahead and try and see if that fits. Just put that down there. Now the bottom. So there's actually, that's still a 90-degree angle. I'm gonna wanna nip that off. Bring back my Kleenex. Just like that. So sometimes you can just eyeball it without looking at your, oh no. So I actually lost a little bit more glass than I wanted to. So I'm just gonna round that out a little bit to make up for that loss. And try it again. And that is perfect. I love it. Sometimes it's going to be a little bit hard to nip your glass. It might be your grip, it might be the way you're holding the piece of glass. Just adjust a little bit, see what's comfortable for you. If you're squeezing with a lot of force, then it's most likely your grip. Just go ahead and adjust that and try it again. And that is perfect. So I'm gonna go ahead and glue those guys down. Now, the longer you use your nippers over time, you might notice that your wheels are starting to loosen a bit. These nippers did not come with a tightening tool. So if you actually just have a pair of tweezers lying around, you can use those to get in there and tighten. It's very simple. So we have our tweezers, and we're just going to squeeze to place them in, let that open up a little bit while it's inside of there, and then righty-tighty or lefty-loosey. Mosaicing is a great activity because it can mostly be done with things that you can find lying around your house. Really, the only tool that's needed here is our nippers. So here is our nose. Now it's just gonna work. Finished up the Scooby-Doo image. Now, what I did realize is that I did not choose enough color baggies in order to do a background. So I didn't think about this just until now. So I'm slightly cheating by breaking into my own scrap mosaic stash. I had this piece of pink sitting around, so I'm gonna cut this up and use it as the background. And I will say the Pittsburgh Glass Center will be offering mosaic scrap sales occasionally. So if you find yourself in the same pickle that I'm in now, just keep an eye out or shoot an email to glassinfo@pittsburghglasscenter.org to inquire about purchasing some mosaic scrap. So let's just nip up this pink glass and finish up our background. So we're all done. And again, we're gonna go ahead and let our mosaic dry for about 24 hours to make sure that that glue isn't going anywhere. And now that we're done cutting our glass too, that means the safety glasses can come off. Some words of encouragement for you guys when you're getting started too. Just remember, there's no right way to mosaic. Anything you do, any method you use, it's fine. If you're having trouble with your nippers, remember to just adjust your grip and try it again. If the piece breaks in a way you don't want it to, it's a mosaic. It's all broken. So just keep going, don't give up. Mosaicing, just like everything else, is a skill. It takes time, and you're gonna get there. And once the world returns to normal, post-COVID, you can sign up for a multi-week mosaic course at the Pittsburgh Glass Center.